Yeah, good morning, everyone. So last session we learned how JavaScript uses, how JavaScript is integrated. Integration of JavaScript into HTML page, right? So how JavaScript is integrated into HTML page? Three techniques we learned. What are those three techniques? Inline, embedded, and external file. We already know minification. We discussed how it works. Next, is it okay? You can turn off this light. Right. So now today we will see how JavaScript refers HTML elements. How JavaScript is going to refer HTML elements. So how CSS refers HTML elements? Selectors. By using selectors, CSS can select any HTML element and can apply effects. So how JavaScript will refer HTML elements? For example, we will create one page. So let's take a page. In this page, it is Flipkart. Yeah. Now in this, we are creating a simple document with some content inside. So here we have a container. In that image have width, height, and border. And below that another div. So we have a heading. So register user. And here username and input type text and input type button. I'm not using HTML5 button. I am using HTML4 button. This is already I showed you buttons in HTML. So HTML5 buttons we will see, because for that one more technique you need to learn. This is okay. This is actually a form. In that form we have this information. Another div, in that we have another form. In that, so user login, and so your email and some input type is email, and again input type as button. So we are having some elements in the page. Let's run this. You can see we have some elements here. So these are the elements in the page. Now in this we have image, and two forms are there, and in every form two elements are there. One is text box, another one button. I want JavaScript to take control of this page and put some picture into it. And I want JavaScript to put some value into button. Buttons are empty and picture is empty. We want image and we want value into buttons. So this first button in register should contain register, and the second button should contain login. So we want JavaScript to apply that dynamically. So when it should happen is at the time of loading the page. At the time of loading the page, I want JavaScript to take control. So we are writing one event, body on load. This indicates what are the activities to perform when page is loaded. So we will write a function here, on load any function name. I will give function name body load. Remember, as I told you, this is
Recording in progress.
exactly like that. And this is function name. It can be any name you can give. This is your own name, but this is not your own name. So here, any name you can give, and you can put a parenthesis. Actually, we call this as event. Suppose, see, I will give one general example here. Suppose we have an object. So, for example, we are having an object. Some object is present. Just like we will say, this object is having some, just ordinary fill I will give. Okay. So now this object we are having, this object is, suppose this is a ball, right? Just we given it as a ball. So now this ball object, it contains width. Width is some 200 pixel. Height is some 100 pixel. And it is having border as a 1 pixel solid. And fill color, fill it is having yellow. These this object looks like, how the object looks like, height, width, color, and all. These are called as, we call them as properties. Properties indicate how the object looks like. Properties indicate how the object looks like. So the width, the height,
Recording in
like
progress.
this. These are the activities it can explode like that. These are the actions performed by this object. These actions performed by object, these are called as methods. We call methods. Methods, or you call it as functions. So the methods or functions, what are the activities it performs? We also call them as actions. What are the actions performed? Now, it will do these activities. Now, the point here is when it will do them, when it will roll, when it will bounce, when it will explode. So, when we suppose roll the ball, then it will roll. When we throw the ball, it will bounce. When we pin the ball, it will explode. So that means when these actions are performed, these actions are performed on this particular triggers. These triggers are called events. We call them as events. So every object comprises of three basic things: the properties, the methods, and events. Properties define how the object looks like. Events, actions define when these activities are performed. And generally events define so what actions to perform, when to perform. Actually, events are called as what? Triggers. What these event triggers can do is they can define the actions, define these actions. So we have properties, we have methods, and we have events. So let's take technically now. Currently, we can have so many things like we have body. This is the body of HTML. Body of HTML, I'm just explaining current scenario. You learned in HTML, body have a lot of properties. What are those? What are the body properties? Body have properties like BG color. It is having a property like background. It is having property like align. Right? It is having properties like so margins, na, left margin, right margin, and all. So we have lot of properties defined here. A lot of properties are defined here. Now remember what these properties tell is how it looks like. Now what actions body can do? Body can do a lot of things like adding elements into page, removing elements from the page, updating data elements. All such things can be done in body. What body can do? It can add element. So it can remove element, right? Now the question is, it can update data into element. All these it can do. Now the question is, when it can do this, when it can do all this, when you load the body, when you click in the body, when you scroll the body, there can be so many events. So what is an event? Event is a trigger that defines what activities to perform when the trigger is triggered. Later detailedly you will learn about events. It's a big concept. So event defines when the actions need to perform. And depending on object, different events are used. Currently, we are using which event? Onload. Onload, what is the action to perform? Body load. So we will write that here. Script. And as rules we done, type is equal to text JavaScript. In this we have a function. Function name is body load. And what this body load function have to do? This body load function have to collect these images, buttons and all, and apply some effects. That means at the time of loading the body, we want JavaScript to take control of HTML, right? How it will take control of HTML? So the first basic thing is JavaScript can refer to HTML elements. JavaScript can refer to HTML elements. it can refer to HTML elements by using DOM hierarchy. JavaScript can refer elements by using DOM hierarchy. What is the DOM hierarchies? The HTML elements are arranged in a parent-child order. We have a DOM hierarchy. The DOM diagram I will upload into Classroom today, right? So how the DOM order looks like. Generally, we can tell the basic order actually. Suppose, so we have a page. So in this page, this currently we are opening some demo page. We are opening demo page in a browser. This browser is considered as window. So in this window, so many things are present. Window contains like history. Window contains like location. Window contains like document. Window contains like navigator, all these things. These are all the members of window. Actually, these are all members of window. So you see, window is having a history. This is, you know that this is history now. Am I right? Window is having history. What is present there? In that history, it contains what are the recently used pages. Which page you last accessed, what pages you visited, all such information is present there. Location refers to this one. Location refers to this one. That means what is the path? What is the IP address? What is the port number we are using? Which page we are using? All that information. That is location. And document gets information about these things. That means images, forms, inside forms, buttons, text boxes, paragraphs, everything. These are all members of which object? Document. Navigator contains information about browser. Browser means, what is this symbol, you know? That is extensions. What extensions browser is having? Which version of browser it is, right? So what is the latest version? And whether browser enables location or not, whether browser enables cookies or not, all these are defined in which object? Navigator. You are going to learn all those objects. Our HTML page belongs to which one? Document. In this document, again, lot of hierarchy is present. In this document, you will have a lot of things, like in the document, you can have images. In the document, you can have like forms. Very important, how many images can be there? More than one, then it is called array. It's a collection of images. How many forms may be there? Many forms can be there. It is an array. Now inside forms, it can have a lot of elements. Elements also array. Array means collection. And what are those elements? We can have buttons, we can have text box, we can have checkbox emirate. This is called DOM. This is actually two parts are here. This part of the content, this is called, we call this as DOM, document object model. This entire part is called BOM, browser object model. Browser object model is the higher hierarchy. Inside browser object model, document object model will be there. This entire diagram I will upload. So you see, this is how actually it looks like. That means the DOM hierarchy looks like this. This is the DOM hierarchy. So this is the DOM hierarchy. That's how it looks like. That is the DOM hierarchy. And this is Brendan Eich, father of JavaScript. And he invented JavaScript. One important point I missed yesterday. I told you evolution of JavaScript. So he developed JavaScript. Do you know it was a revolution at that time because he developed JavaScript, entire JavaScript in just 10 days. He took just 10 days to build that complete JavaScript for you. So that was a revolution at that time. So this is very fast in any software development. A new software is invented, language is designed in just 10 days. And very important, even today we use only what he developed. Some new features are added every version. So this is the DOM hierarchy. This is the browser object model. Now see this hierarchy and tell me the location of images. From parent to the images. What is the order? Tell me. First, who is the parent? Parent is window. Dot in window, we have document. In document, images. Images is an array. That means it's a collection. That means how this collection is accessible is first image position will be 0. In the collection, index number starts with 0. First one will be 0, second one will be 1, like that. That means the image hierarchy is this. In window, document, in document, images. Now let's use that hierarchy. JavaScript can refer elements using DOM hierarchy. That means you see now the DOM hierarchy looks like this. We have window, in that document, in that images, it's a hierarchy. So we have window, in that document, we have forms. In that forms, again, we have elements. This is again hierarchy. That is the basic hierarchy of elements. The window, the document, images. That is the hierarchy. Now, basic hierarchy of element is this. Now let's check this hierarchy and see here. Here on body load, we will write that window, in that document, in that images, and array. How many images? So how many images? One is there in our page. Its index is 0. At that 0, there is an image. Now, how to access how to define its properties? Dot we have to use. Image, for image, we need to put a src. Src is equal to, what is the src? It is dot dot slash public slash images slash some a1.jpg. And you can see that JavaScript can put a picture into that. That means JavaScript can take control of any element using DOM hierarchy. Now tell me how to access register button. By seeing this hierarchy, how to access window. In window we have in document we have, in form we have elements. In elements, this is not order. Element can be anywhere. Now currently, how many forms we have in our page? In our page, how many forms we are having? 2 forms are there. Register form is present at which index? 0 index. In that, how many elements are there? Form elements. Form elements are 2 na? Heading also is an element, but form elements are 2. One text box, another button. What is the button index? 1, because at 0 text box, at 1 button. So we need to access like this. Window dot document dot forms, forms of 0. This means first form. In that elements of 1. That means the second element. And what is that element? Button element. So in button element, do you have any src? No. So then how to display text in button? Value. Value is equal to, I said, register. And you can see it is applied there. Similarly, I want to access the second. You can tell now window dot document forms 1. In that what? Elements of 1. In that again 0, 1. Every hierarchy is its own parent. Right? In this is second form na. In the second form again elements will be 0, 1. Right? 1. What is the value? Value as what? Login. Now you can see that is working fine. This is how JavaScript can refer elements in HTML. What is good? What is bad? Actually, so it is the fastest way to render elements. It is the fastest way to render elements. So it is native to HTML. Native to HTML means that is how HTML can understand. It is native to HTML. That means that is how HTML can understand. So it is fast, right? But what is problem in this? The problem in this is if element position changes in page, then every time, every position change need to update index number, in logic. That is the biggest drawback of this. That means what is problem? If element changes its position in the page, then every position change need to update index number. In the code, again, you need to update the index number. This is not great. That means, for example, here, suppose you can see in this example here, I am changing the position of this element. That means I am moving this button in register, the button from here to here. Then automatically button index is changed now. Button is at which index? 0. Then you can see it is misplaced. Again, what we have to do, we need to go to this and change the index number to how much? 0. Then it will update. This is not great. Why? Because pages are regularly changed. Some new elements we may add, some elements we may remove, we may change the position of any element. Then this is not good idea, right? But if you want to access all elements in a sequential order through the index references, generally we do that while testing, while checking the performance. In that case, this is the best way. That means access by using DOM hierarchy is very much used in testing, in checking the performance and all. But in regular usage, it is not good. It is not recommended, because every time when index is changed, we need to update, right? That is the drawback of this technique. Let me copy this. This is the example for first technique. So what is the first method? JavaScript can refer HTML elements by using DOM hierarchy. Okay. Second important is, the second point is, JavaScript can refer elements by using the reference name. JavaScript can refer elements by using reference name. But this is having a great advantage, but some drawbacks also. You can refer the elements by reference name. What does that means? Every element can have a reference name. That means, suppose image have a name called pic, a reference name, that is the name. So what you can do is, you can access element by using its name. We can access element by using its name. Then what is good and what is bad about this? So when you are referring by using name, even when any change occurred, it doesn't matter, because you change the position of any element, it doesn't matter, because this time you are using a name reference. But some drawbacks are there. What are the drawbacks? Let's see here. First thing, how it happens is, let's go to the design, delete all this logic now. And you can see now everything again empty. Now what we will do is, for every element, we will give a reference name. That means for image, I am giving a name as, suppose, poster, like this. And for form, I am giving a name, FRM register. For text box, I am giving a name, TXT, this is button, btn register. For text box, I am giving a name txt some user or txt name. Now the question is it necessary to give a name for every element in page? No. If you want to refer that element, then you can give a name, right? So for the form, we will give a name frm login. For this, we will give a name txt email. For this, we will give a name btn what login. Okay. Now, what is the point is, I want to access this picture. Very, very simple. Simply poster.src and dot slash public slash images slash a2.jpg. This is very simple. And you can see it is working. It's very, very, very simple, right? Just you give reference name. Then what is problem in this? So many problems are there. First problem is you cannot refer any child element directly without referring its parent. That means what is the first problem in this? That means we can access like this. How? Pick dot what? src. You can give some images slash some ad.jpg something. What is the drawback of this is you cannot access any child element directly without referring to its parent, without referring to its. This is the biggest problem. That means, for example, I want to access register button, login button, register button. So we will go here. We will go here. We will access btn register. btn register is a button. Dot value is equal to register. And you see that register button is not working. It is not working. Then why? Because it is a child element. If you have to refer it, you have to refer its parent. Its parent is a form. That means without referring to form, you cannot refer. That means what is the form? FRM register. In that BTN register, now it is okay. Similarly, I want to access the login. Then FRM login dot what? BTN login dot value is equal to login. That's how we can access that here and use. Now, what is advantage is even you change the position. I removed button from here and I kept after text box. It doesn't matter. So we can refer elements by using name. But what is the drawback? You cannot access any child element directly. Anything else? Anything else? We discussed about name 1 point. What we discussed about name. I told you difference between name and ID. Na? What is that another point I told you about name? Name can be common for several elements. If name is common for several elements, then it will not work. Because suppose you saw radio buttons. Two radio buttons have same name. Then which one? Is it compulsory to maintain same name for both radios? Yes. Otherwise, they will not exhibit mutex mechanism. So it is mandatory to mention same name. But if you mention same name, how you will access those radios? So the problem with the name, another problem with the name is, so same name can be defined for multiple elements. So hence name reference cannot work if elements are defined with mutex. Mutex means mutual exclusions. In such case only we use same name. If you are using same name, then multiple elements having the same name cannot identify. That is what the problem with the name reference, another name reference is. So two major problems are there. What are those two problems? One is you cannot access child elements directly. Another same name can be given for several elements. So that is the problem. But this works fine. So if you don't have any conflict with the names, this is the best way. Why? Because just name and dot property. Right? If any element is directly available, then you can use this technique. Remember, it's not like you have to use only one technique. You can implement all techniques in one page. One element you can refer with ID, one names, another element you can refer with. So DOM hierarchy doesn't matter, right? Now there is another technique, third. JavaScript can refer elements by using ID. Refer elements by using ID. Actually, so here JavaScript provides a method. The method is document.get element by ID. Element by ID. So what is advantage is it can access element directly from any level of hierarchy. It can access element directly from any level of hierarchy. From any level of hierarchy you can access. You don't need to refer the parent. Without referring to the parent, you can directly access. That is good about this technique. So this is one simple way of referring elements. So what you do now, let's see. I will use those elements with IDs. Image have an ID. ID is poster, same. This button is having an ID. BTN register. For form, I am not giving ID. For another button, I give an ID. BTN login. Now see here. Let's remove this. Again, these are empty. These are empty. Now I will use here document.get element by ID poster. .src source. So it is public slash images slash a4.jpg. And you can see it is going to apply some image. It is going to add some image into it. Now, how to access register button? Document.get element by ID. Get element by ID. btn register dot value is equal to register. Then register is also working. What is it? Right? Document, yeah. So it is applying that. Now we are accessing document get element by ID btn login dot value. So is equal to what? Login. Now that is also working fine. We don't need to refer the parent. Directly you can access any element from any hierarchy. But here also problems are there. What is the problem with ID? So that means you can refer an ID and you can access ID. Suppose syntactically, so image have an ID called some pic. Then we access document dot get element by ID. That is pic dot src is equal to some path. What is problem in ID? Problem with ID is ID reference can be used by CSS also. It can be used by CSS. CSS have ID selector now. Then again problem. The problem is, can an element have two IDs? An element can have two IDs? No. ID is only one. You cannot have multiple ID. Then you have a problem now, conflict. That means the reference of CSS you can use in JavaScript, but again conflict will come. Why conflict will come? Because in CSS ID can be used by multiple. Same ID can be used by multiple. That means ID reference can be used by CSS. In CSS, ID can be same for multiple elements. So hence it is an issue for JavaScript. For JavaScript to use ID reference at every location. So that is the reason you cannot say which one is best, because the best is depending on the situation and requirement. So many times people ask this, they ask like, sir, which technique is good and which one we have to use? That you have to decide according to your page and its situation. There is nothing like this is the best method. Many times we use this method regularly, but it's not necessary also. Because suppose if an image is present and you can access just by one word, why to use this much lengthy logic? Then we better prefer what? Name reference. Right? If you have problem with the name reference, then you can go with IDs. But ID also have problem. That means same ID can be used for multiple elements in CSS. Then ID conflict will happen. Right? That is the problem. Now, another point is that what is that? Another concept is here. Let me give you this example. I will copy this. This time, this is related to ID. Another technique is JavaScript. JavaScript can refer HTML elements. JavaScript can refer HTML elements. HTML elements by using, it can refer HTML elements by using CSS selectors. It can use by using CSS selectors. What are CSS selectors? So many are there. Everything we can use. That means ID selector, type selector, class selector, rational selectors, structural selectors, attribute selectors, everything. You can use everything. So that is the advantage of that. That means JavaScript can use various CSS selectors which include one is type, so class and ID, rational, structural, and attribute, etc. These are all selector types. We can use all these selectors and define them. For example, we have an image. So we need to access that image. How do we access this image? It is not having ID. It is not having any name. Then how we can access is JavaScript JavaScript uses document.query selector. And that query selector can allow access. So example how document.query selector, and in that img. That's how we can access. This is type selector. Suppose this image is having an ID. Suppose we have an image with ID. Then how do we access document.query selector? Here hash ID. Whatever ID reference is. ID, whatever reference name. Suppose it is having a class, document.query selector, we can use dot class name. You can mention the class name, which class we want to use. Suppose you want to access an element which is adjacent to some container. Then what we do? We access document dot, what is it? So we can access query selector. So we say now plus some div. What does this indicates? The div which is adjacent. Adjacent means after. After which one? Now. Suppose I want to access, that means if I use space, then what does that means? The div which is inside now. If I use this symbol, what does this means? Direct child element, right? So this indicates all child. You can use any hierarchy, right? All CSS selectors you can use. You can even use attribute selectors, right? See document dot query selector. Here we have input type is equal to button. Like this we can access. We already learned attribute selectors. Attribute selectors greater than, starts with, ends with, at any place. We learned logic also in that. We can access. But here again, by that name, so many buttons are there, then problem will come. means by that attribute. If many elements are present, then problem will come. But this is a simple technique of accessing query selector. So you see now, suppose I will delete this. I want to access the picture. Then I will use document.querySelector img .src is equal to public images asp.jpg, and it is going to set that image there. I want to access register button, document.querySelector. Document.querySelector, it is having hash btn register. Dot value is equal to what? Register. ID selectors can be accessed with hash. Suppose this login button is having a class btn, then how we can access? Document.querySelector.btn, and we can apply value is equal to what? Login, and you can see it is going to apply that. It's going to apply and it is going to define. That is basic point. So usually that is the appearance. So, and these are the options. Later you are going to use various options in situation, right? These are another example for that. So if element is present at a different location and through IDs to names, classes not required, we can just use these query selectors and you can access them. These are all the important reference techniques. There are other techniques for accessing multiple elements that you will later learn using arrays. That means how to access all paragraphs, how to access all headings, how to access all images at a time. For that, JavaScript has separate methods. Those you will learn in the concept of working with arrays, right? As of now, these four are enough. So in how many ways JavaScript can refer HTML elements? What are those? Four. First one is DOM hierarchy. Second one, name, refer by name. Third one, ID. And fourth one, query selector. So what are the drawbacks of every concept? We know, right? Situation wise, we have to use. It is nothing like this is best, this is not, right? These are all reference techniques. So 2 points you learned now. You learned how JavaScript is kept in a page and how JavaScript will take control of elements in the page. Next important, you need to know JavaScript output techniques. JavaScript output techniques. Remember, there are so many other techniques you will learn depending on different situation. So don't get confused or don't get overexcited about that, because here and there some words you will see and you will have an excited doubt like, sir, I have seen this. You will see everything here also, but situation wise we are learning, right? The point is, as of now, till now, up to what we have learnt, the techniques are how many? 4. Right? I already told you, later when we learn arrays, we will learn some more techniques, how we can access, right? So JavaScript output techniques is generally every programming language. What is the purpose of a programming language? It will take input from user. It will process that input, identifies what he is requesting, and it will present an output. So output is nothing but output. So output is the process of rendering data into UI. Rendering data into UI. The process of rendering data into UI is called output. So technically, it is the process of emitting value. Technically, it is the process of emitting value. You can emit value. So emitting values. So actually in our compilers and translators, we have emitters. Emitters are responsible for generating output. Output means binding the value to UI. Right now, how output is handled? What are the various techniques? Right. So JavaScript provides various output methods and properties. Some of important which you are going to learn now, we have alert, we have confirm, so we have document dot write, we have inner HTML, we have outer HTML, we have inner text. So we have console methods. We have even text content. These are all various output techniques. These are all the various output techniques used in JavaScript. Depending on the situation requirement, we use them, right? Again, the same thing, like it's not like which one is best, right? We have various techniques, we can use them. For example, see how this works, means how this is going to handle. What are these and how they work? Actually, one by one, we will see for that. So we will take a simple example of a button. Let's say a new page. So output.html. So in this output HTML, we are designing a simple button as delete. Now this delete button, so on click is delete click. On delete click, I want to display some message. Write a script type as text, JavaScript, function, delete click. On delete click, I want some message to show as a confirmation, record deleted. Then how we can show that message is actually we can use an alert. You saw an alert in Bootstrap, no? In Bootstrap, we saw one alert. Alert is a box, but that is embedded in the page. It is an embedded content in the page. What alert can do is, it is a window element. It is a window element. It pops up a message in browser window. browser window. So it will not allow to handle any interaction until it is confirmed with OK. Very important. It doesn't have any option for cancel. It doesn't have any option for cancel. You have to use escape for cancel. You have to use escape for cancel. So which is not technically cancel. Which is not technically cancel. So this is one drawback of alert. And very important. So syntactically here, so we need to keep alert, and you can keep your message, what message you want. Very important. Alert is RC data type. So it can have message, it can have string or expression, and not any markup. This is the point about alert. So alert is an RC data type. What is an RC data type? So will not allow any another element inside, plain text. You can have a string or an expression. String on expression means, suppose we can have alert hello, right? Or it can have alert like 10 plus 20. That is an expression. It can have a string or an expression. Very important. If you want alert to display message in multiple lines, then use /n for line break, not BR. We have to use /n for line break. That means we need to write like this, alert, so line 1 and /n line 2. Like this we have to define. /n line 3. Any number of lines you can have. We can do that. But very important is it will not provide any option for canceling. There is no cancel option. Even you press escape, it disappears, but it is not cancel. It is not cancel. So that is technically not a cancel. So these are all the problems. So see now here I am writing on button click. So that means on the delete click, we are defining. On the delete click, we are defining the action. What is that? Is alert. Alert I am displaying. So delete record. And I will put a /n. That means next line. So record will be deleted permanently. Like this. That is how we are defined. Now what happens is, this is actually to be presented. And you see this is a button. So, and when I click on this button, we have a delete button. I click on this button, then an alert will come. This is an alert. Now, many times people ask, can I change the title? Can I change the color? Can I change the button? So can I add a button? Can I change button text? No, you can't do anything. This is a window created and designed through browser. In browser settings, you have to modify, which is not possible. It will not allow everything to change. Only it may allow to change the theme of color, like dark, bright, but you can't remove button, add button, or do anything here. Those are all our own pop-ups. We learned model now. We discussed about model. What model is in Bootstrap? Model can have its own pop-up. We can have our own buttons, but this cannot be done. And very important, once this pop-up comes, you can't do any work until or unless you confirm it by OK. There is no cancel here. There is not even a close also. Then escape is to cancel. But escape is not technically cancel. It is hiding it. It is not canceling it. So this is good if you want a mandatory confirmation. That means user should not proceed to next without confirming. And there must be no option for even cancel. Then better you give which one? Alert. That means no canceling, confirm and proceed. So for that case, these alerts are fine. These alerts are okay. So as I told you, these are RC data type. You cannot have any markup. Suppose if I written B like this, bold, and you can see it will print that SB. So you have to just define only plain text content. We cannot have anything else. So this is the concept of what alert. So that is the concept of alert. This is an example for alert. Now the same thing you can achieve by using another output technique, that is confirm. It is similar. It is similar to alert. It is similar to alert, but provides, it is similar to alert, but provides an option to cancel. It provides an option to cancel. Same like alert, extra cancel will be there. And very important, it is a Boolean type. Boolean type. That means what it will do is OK will return true and cancel will return false. OK true and cancel false. That means whether he clicked OK or cancel, we can confirm that by using true or false. By using true or false. Let's see here. Syntactically same. We have a confirm. So in the confirm, we have a message or we have an expression. That's what we have to do. And whatever user handles with confirm, it is going to return a Boolean value, true or false. So see here, let's replace this. I will replace this alert with a confirm. So record will be deleted permanently. So here, are you sure? Want to delete? That is the confirmation. And you can see now, so when I click on this here, when I click on this delete, when I click on the delete, it says record deleted. Are you sure? And you have OK and cancel. In alert, there is no cancel. But here, this cancel, OK, both look same until or unless you write logic for that. Right? That means we have to write logic for that. Suppose I click on cancel, same. I click on OK, same. So we have to write logic. So test scenarios will be there. That means in project development, for every concept, hundreds of scenarios can be there. Hundreds of cases will be there. For every case, we have to write. That is the reason it takes a lot of time. For example, in real time, we are developing an application for a company. It will take 2-3 years to develop. It will take 2-3 years to develop an application if it is a large scale. Medium, small scale application means we will take 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, like that. Even a small scale with a lot of registrations, logins, like web application takes 2-3 months time to develop that. Generally, people ask, like, generally when course is finished, many times people ask, like, will you teach a project? Then how many days I have to teach a project? Right? Again, 6 months, 1 year. But generally, what people do, they say that at the end of course, I will teach you one project. So in 3-4 days, 1 week, 10 days, you can build a project. You will see that project is working also. Then you are more genius than MNC companies. MNCs are nothing before you. You are super genius. In 1 week, 10 days, you are building a project. MNCs don't know the trick behind this. Right? If they know, then they will take you immediately. And they will even give you 1 crore per month. Because in 10 days, you will finish a project. Na? Right? These are all bluffing you, actually, people. Why? Because why a project takes so much time? Because every concept, 100 scenarios will be there. 100 scenarios will be there. Where it faces the problem, everything we need to check. For example, best example, simple, I will tell you. Suppose you ordered food on Swiggy or Zomato, and it is taking time to deliver. Now, if you ask question, why it is late? Now tell me the scenario why your food order is late. Now I will tell you the cases for that. First thing, you placed an order and a restaurant is taking time to confirm your order. So that means delay is in confirming the order. Order is confirmed. Restaurant is preparing the order. Now delay is in preparing the order, right? So it prepared the order and it is looking for a delivery partner for you to assign. It is taking time. All are busy. Now delay is in locating the delivery partner. Delivery partner is located, but he is at far location. It takes time for him to reach your restaurant. Delay in delivery partner reaching the location. Right? He reached the location and picked up the order. And due to heavy traffic, is unable to reach you immediately. Delay in delivering you the order. So many scenarios. You simply say that why it is not delivered. You will call a call center and say why it is not delivered. Why it is not delivered? So many cases are there. Let me check where it is. That means, is there a problem in this or that? That means every concept have 100 scenarios, hundreds of scenarios. If you miss writing any one scenario, then your application fails there. And in real time, we need to check every scenario. That means for solving a problem, more than 20-30 test cases will be there. Every small problem. And you have to match every case. So who is hacker? Hacker is a software developer who identifies that at one particular situation, you missed writing a case, and that he will use to enter into your application and he can hack your application. That's the reason we have to take precaution. Every case you have to write. So many applications fail because of this. Even they are highly professional, right? Even they are highly professional, it will take problems. Why? Because, for example, you see OTT platforms. A movie is released. It's okay. Everybody watches that movie. But sometimes very high demanded movie is released. Immediately when it is released, millions of people try to watch at the same time. They will not wait. Then application crashes. That means it is unable to buffer everybody correctly. It takes loading. It sometimes don't work properly. That is a problem in application. That means why they can't take more space, because taking more space will take more money. So then what currently people are doing for that particular movie, if they think that demand is high, then they will extend that memory for that few days. After that, again normal, because we are currently using cloud technologies. That is very possible. So for every concept, there will be lot of scenarios. For every scenario, it is developer's responsibility to write logic. Without writing logic, nothing will work. That means if you ask, what will happen if user clicks cancel? What will happen when user clicks cancel? That developer have to write. Automatically nothing will happen. You have to write. That means don't think that there is a cancel button, you clicked and it is cancelled. It is not cancelled, it is closed. OK also closes, cancel also closes. OK is closed. Cancel also close. Then how do you write logic for this? So what we do is, this confirm is returning. This confirm is returning. What it is returning? It is returning Boolean. I told you na. We will store that Boolean in a flag. Flag is a variable. As of now, I'm just using the word flag. That's enough, right? You can store that value in a variable. Now we write a condition. If flag is equal to true. So single equal is assigning true to this. Double equal is comparing. Comparing right side value with left. Right? So single equal is assigning right side value to left. We have to compare. If it is equal to true, then what should happen? If it is equal to true, then so we will put an alert saying that deleted. And otherwise, else we will put an alert saying that you cancelled. Cancelled. This message will come. As I told you, confirm will return true or false. On OK, it will return true. On cancel, it will return false. So you have to write two scenarios now. One for OK, another for cancel. Now you see what will happen here. I click delete. I click on cancel. It says you cancel. I click on OK and click on OK again. Then it says that deleted. You have to write the logic accordingly. Automatically, anything will not work. For every concept, we have to write a logic, right? This is one option about confirm. So what is the advantage of confirm over alert? It allows to cancel. Sometimes we don't want him to cancel. Confirm and proceed. Then we will use alerts. There is another option. You can use document.write. We have document.write. Another one is document.write. Document.write is nothing but, so it presents output. It presents output. So on a new screen, it presents output on a new screen of same page. Same page, new screen will come. It is going to present output on a new screen, and it supports any string, expression or markup. You can also use a markup. It supports a string, it supports an expression, it supports even a markup. Markup means your HTML also you can write inside it. So it supports all of them. You can use anything. For example, you see here, I will simply put here syntax, what it is, document dot write, and here your message, so or expression, or you can write your markup. Markup means your HTML tags. You can keep your markup here. That is document dot write. Now see, what we will do is on OK here, when user clicks OK, true, I will write here a document dot write, I will say record deleted successfully. What is meant by markup? I will keep this message in font. I will keep that message in bold. I will keep in italic. So in italic, in bold, in font, I am keeping that message, and that font have a color as red. And remember, when you are using outer string in double quote, inside should be single quote. Inside string should be single quote. And here, what we are doing, after that, we are using BR, line break. And we are using an anchor. So, and anchor here we'll say back. And href is equal to same page. What is current page? Href is equal to output dot what? HTML. Output HTML is our page, current page. Now see what happens here. I click on delete. So cancel, that means you cancel. I click on delete. So OK, then it will display that message. And we have a markup back, it will get back to the same page. So we can present any markup, any expression, any message. That is actually document.write. So this is another option here. Right, we can display output in alert. We can display output in confirm, and we can display in this. We can display in any location within the same page and anywhere. There are so many other techniques that we'll see next tomorrow, right? So from here, lot of complexity will come now, right? So large examples we need to practice. First try up to this. Then tomorrow we will discuss other techniques, how to handle, okay? Right.